Snow blanketed the cobblestone streets of a small, bustling town. Carolers sang joyous songs, and the warm glow of lanterns illuminated happy faces. But on the edge of the square, under the shadow of a shop awning, sat Elsie, a frail girl of 12. Her cheeks were flushed not with holiday cheer, but from the biting cold. Elsie had no home to return to and no family to celebrate Christmas with. She clutched a worn scarf around her neck, a remnant of her mother who had passed away years ago. Her eyes wandered to the bakery window, where golden loaves and sugar-dusted pastries teased her empty stomach. A group of children dashed past her, their laughter ringing through the frosty air. One boy dropped a candy cane as he ran. Elsie hesitated before picking it up. Her fingers, red and raw, trembled as she held the small treat. "Keep it," a kind voice said. Startled, Elsie looked up to see an elderly woman with gentle eyes and a basket of wrapped gifts. "It's Christmas, after all," Elsie managed a weak smile. "Thank you," she whispered. The woman frowned, noticing the girl's threadbare clothes and the hunger in her gaze. "Where are your parents, child?" "I have none," Elsie said softly. Her voice barely carried over the wind. The woman's heart ached. She knelt beside Elsie, taking her icy hands in her own. "Come with me," she said. Elsie followed hesitantly, led to a cozy cottage at the edge of the town. Inside, the warmth of a crackling fire wrapped around her like a hug. The woman, whose name was Mrs. Hensley, offered her a bowl of steaming soup and a seat by the fire. As Elsie ate, Mrs. Hensley listened to her story of loss, loneliness, and nights spent shivering in the cold. Tears welled in the old woman's eyes. She had no children of her own and often spent Christmas alone. "This house could use a little laughter," Mrs. Hensley said, "and I think you could use a home." Elsie stared. The spoon paused halfway to her mouth. "You mean I can stay?" "For as long as you need," Mrs. Hensley said with a smile. That night, as Elsie hung a stocking by the fireplace for the first time in years, she felt something she thought she'd forgotten: hope. Christmas wasn't about the lights, the gifts, or even the carols. It was about love, and in Mrs. Hensley's little cottage, Elsie found a place where she could belong. For the first time in a long time, her Christmas wish had come true.